Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Happy Hour. I'm your host, Jeff Fagan, and today we have a very special guest, one of my good friends, Jeff Worley. Jeff is an accomplished colorist, editor, and DP in the filmmaking world, and we actually connected via his YouTube channel, Crftsho, that he runs with Drew Hall. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring him on is filmmaking is in such a crazy time right now. Everybody's in a crazy time, but filmmakers are in a weird position where you're able to pivot and do certain other jobs that are related to filmmaking. So I figured Jeff's traveling right now for work, so we can discuss what he's doing to kind of pivot with the times. But before we get any further, let's bring Jeff on. Jeff, how are you doing this fine afternoon?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's the double Jeffs today.
It's another Jeff, man. Happy hour. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers. Cheers.
Oh man.
So Jeff, so what's going on in your world? I know that you're not where home was right now. You're kind of out of the area, as we could say.
Yes. Crftsho's home base is Mobile, Alabama, the Gulf Coast. I am in Mocksville, North Carolina at the moment, just outside of Winston-Salem, for the weekend because I'm working over in Durham, North Carolina during the weeks right now.
All right.
I'm doing this little hour travel back and forth on the weekends. Try and get my
so it's only an hour, huh?
Yeah, it's only an hour away.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Not
then.
too far. I live across the bay from Mobile, Alabama, and it's a 50-minute drive for me, anyways. One way
wow.
to work. And then I used to live in DC, so that was 30 minutes, 2 hours. Who knows?
Yeah, I bet. I was gonna say DC traffic. That's ridiculous. That's like LA traffic.
It really is.
Yeah. So let's talk about how did you get into filmmaking? What was kind of your roots? What got you into? I don't know what got you into filmmaking, and what were you drawn to first? What section of filmmaking? Yeah,
you really don't know the whole story, actually. Do you want me to go real bit far back, or you want me to?
You go back as far as you want to go.
My father was a photographer in the military, part of his military career, and he got into it. And when I was 5 or 6. My dad started teaching me camera work and stuff like that. And then I go on family vacations and get drilled on, if you're shooting at 1/60th of a second at T4, if you change it to 1/25th, what f-stop do you change to, stuff like that. And then high school, I was big in the cameras. Drew Hall, my partner at Crftsho, went to high school with me, and we both shot a bunch of stuff together back then. I was into photography more than film. So when I went to school, I was a photography major, did chemical photography and dark rooms and all that stuff. Then got a little bit into digital, and then started getting into color film and mixing colors, which kind of kicked me into my whole color thing. Then I went and did painting, got my graduate or my degree is in photography, my secondary is in painting. And so I did painting for color theory, and then learned how to do all that stuff and started doing some more film work. Then I went and did a lot of photography work for about 5 to 10 years. And then Drew Hall got this kind of deal to shoot something, and he pulled me back into doing film work. Then I started doing color work, and I started doing color through him and the features that he was directing. And then I kind of sprung off from there and started doing short films and feature films outside of him. And then started doing a lot of political work and commercial kind of color work, and been editing for about that amount of time as well. And DP Drew's second feature film.
Awesome. Which one was that?
It is a feature called Skyhook that I seriously doubt anybody will ever be able to find. I don't know if Drew wants anybody to ever see it. I don't really care. It is what it is.
Was that like the steampunk movie?
No, that was Ether, and I DIT'd and colored that one. I've also DIT'd for a very long time as well through multiple movies with multiple directors and stuff like that. So yeah, I've done pretty much everything from camera side all the way through.
Yeah, you don't see that as much anymore where, you're so, and I'm not trying to, stroke your ego, but you're so talented as a colorist, you're talented as an editor, but you're also a DP. Yeah. And there's not many people who kind of knock off all those notches or take off all those notches and do them well.
Yeah.
And so that's something that's really unique about you, and I really appreciate that when I see your work.
Well, thank you.
No problem at all. It's so interesting to see, because it's like, listen, for me personally, I
Yeah.
can edit and I can put together an okay edit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't call myself an editor, for me to do something would take me way longer than the average person, just because I pride myself on the camera side of things.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who, at least locally by me, they don't stick to everything, and it shows. It shows that they're not proficient at everything. And it's great that, you have really the three, and I guess you're doing DIT as well in addition to all that.
Yeah.
And it's just great to see.
Yeah. DIT became more of a practicality, getting into that field more than anything else. I started that one because some films that I was working on really wasn't organized enough, and being a colorist, I already knew the responsibility and the purpose of having everything organized and being able to make it look quickly, stuff like that. So it was kind of like my technical side and my creative side just coming into one big fold with other DPs.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
fun thing.
Yeah, well, it's cool to also like work with other DPs and kind of work with everybody in other different fields and kind of see, oh, I like how they did that. Maybe I should incorporate that into what I do, or like, oh, I didn't necessarily like that move, and it's cool that they did that because we all got to kind of experience this together, and I almost got to learn from that mistake.
Exactly. I mean, it's fun seeing different DPs and directors and that with how creative they get with camera movements. Sometimes it's like, whoa, I would have never thought of doing that, but it's a nice thing. Then you just throw it into your little bag of tricks later, so that some other time you're like, oh, that's a great opportunity to try that. And then try it. Might fail, might not. Who knows? But at least you learn from it.
Absolutely. That's
why I like working with other DPs and directors. Really, it's just seeing how other people approach things. When I was DPing more and more, my favorite thing is, because I didn't come up grip side really, so I had to learn how to grip myself, and then started learning from gaffers, and like watching what gaffers do to me is like one of the most amazing things in the world. Especially the ones that take away all the light and then like recreate everything, or just take the light away. And it's like stuff to me is mind boggling. I don't think that way. I always think of addition. So it's like, let's add some light here, and then so it's fun seeing some of those gaffers that do that type of stuff. It's amazing. Yeah.
And it's great working with experienced gaffers too, because a lot of the times, I'm sure you've had the same experience, you're on set and a gaffer, you're doing this lighting situation and you're like, all right, I want this Kino flow here, or I want this light over here and this Fresnel over there. And I like the collaboration aspect. And they're like, well, what if we hang it up a little bit and we angle it over here, like over this set? And I love that collaboration aspect, because then it's kind of like a lot of the times they'll have great ideas. I'm more of a collaboration type guy. I just love it. I feel like a lot of people, so much is happening on set that someone could just have a great idea that you didn't think of just because you're in the middle of everything.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the way with Crftsho, what Drew and I usually do a lot of the time. He has been a director on features for a long time. So Drew we both usually will kind of direct, but we both DP. So it's like one of us is doing one thing, the other one just kind of circles around and takes over, and just we collaborate the whole entire time. That's awesome. The older I've gotten, the more if anybody offers advice, I'm like, sure, let's listen to it. It
absolutely
might be a great idea. There's no
it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Exactly.
You don't like it?
Yeah. It really, there's nothing wrong with it. Somebody, just that doesn't have as much experience, or is just doing some other job. They can all have brilliant ideas. Doesn't have to just be the one person.
Absolutely.
I've never liked sets or working with people that were that way. It's like, this is my idea. No other idea can get through. Luckily, I've only been on one or two. There's been very few that have been that way. Most of them are collaborative, and it's been nice. It's a creative field. Everybody should be able to be creative in some way, shape, or form.
And I agree. I'd say mine's more of a mixed bag. I think it's almost 50-50.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You kind of roll with the punches, and if someone's going to run a certain way, you just take your orders and march on along the best possible.
I see that more in the advertising marketing side than I do in actual films, like short films, creative feature films, stuff like that. Because you'll have a creative director every once in a while that's just like, this is my idea. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
that's fine. You learn what's going on, you know, on set. It's like, okay, this guy's going to be this way. So you just kind of walk the line and do your job, you know, and get out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. So, so tell me, so what was going on with you before COVID-19? What were you working on? What was kind of on the docket?
Golly, before COVID, me and Drew were working mostly with creatives, getting ready to do 2 or 3 different commercials. One of them was a super awesome creative musical commercial that we were going to try and pull off. Drew and I were prepping for that, and that thing like literally just shut down. It was like we ran into a brick wall of COVID-19. It's just like we were ready, prepped, and just like full steam ahead, and just crashed off.
Yeah. Well, it's also no one had a choice. So
no, it did absolutely. And honestly, I mean, half of the people that were going to be with it were older people. So I mean, it's like they're the ones, you know, at least at the beginning, everybody thought was the ones that were going to get the sickest and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, we can't be around those people. You know, if something happens, then, you know, we could cause harm to other people. And it's like, there's no reason to do that.
Absolutely. No, you definitely shut down for the right reasons. And you never know, it could happen, you know, once things settle down and once we're getting back to some form of normalcy. Production. There's a lot of theories that production may change, but, you know, I don't necessarily know how much it really can change other than maybe having smaller crews.
Yeah, I think you'll see smaller crews. I think you'll probably see, you might have the chance to see more remote directing and producing that happens. Because, I mean, you know, you've been doing this for a while, and we've been doing our YouTube channel for a while and stuff like that. I mean, but everybody in the world has found StreamYard and Zoom and all that. I mean, it's totally changed all this stuff. And I do feel there's going to be some producers and people like that that are like, we don't need to spend money, you know, to send somebody and, you know, give them a hotel room for a month, you know, to shoot something. Then we can just have a computer sitting on set, you know, and just
absolutely
communicate.
Well, so, even we had a friend of ours, Lonnie Newman, who we worked with on Bert the Conqueror, and she came on the show like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and that was her experiment. She did a commercial and completely directed it virtually. That's so cool. It is happening. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Drew and I are in talks of trying it out on one shoot that we were supposed to do. So it'll be interesting to see if we get it to happen.
Absolutely. It would be interesting to see. Because what she was doing was more related. Everyone had their own camera and was connected to a Zoom account, so it was easy to see.
Cool.
I'm interested to see, you know, if someone almost has an iPad for them on set. And they're kind of directing like that or producing like that, and they're like literally from the iPad. They have their phone here, and they're like, "All right, that shot looks good. All right, send it to me. That okay. Change the angle here." Like if and you never know, things could move in that direction. It would be interesting.
Oh, it really could.
Can you imagine just a DP and some gaffers on set?
Yep. Go in your realm. Like if somebody just had like an Osmo or something that was streaming, you have a PA just walking around with a moving camera to help the director. And there's lots of possibilities for it, you know. But I mean, that's a great way to keep productions going, you know, as much as you can, because crew need to work, you know, the directors need to work, commercials still need to be made, you know, and info still needs to go out. You know, so it's like it could be the way to make everything usable and everybody can still be able to have a job.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you had a great point. You know, it's not just hotel rooms, but if someone can direct virtually, they could be in LA directing a commercial here in Florida and no plane flight, no food and beverage, no hotel.
No per diem, nothing. You know?
Yeah. You're just doing it in your boxers in your office, you know?
Exactly. I mean, hey, if you can get it done that way, then why not? I mean, this the producer hat coming on. You know, it's like if you can save money, then save money. You know, don't cheapen it out to a point, you know, where you're hurting your creative, you know, or you're hurting the actual vision of what you're doing. But if it can be done,
I agree. So what's on? So tell us what you're doing right now, because obviously you're in North Carolina. You made this little drive up there, and you're actually working, believe it or not, in filmmaking. You're doing a filmmaking related job. So what are you doing up there?
I am. I came up here to help. I guess help the COVID-19. I don't want to say I'm an essential worker because I'm not an essential person at all. but I'm up here trying to help relay messages from administrators and health professionals to the people on the front line.
Okay.
It's little updates. And it's nothing fancy, nothing truly creative. It's just getting a message out. Like I was telling you right beforehand, it's little shoots that I can shoot for 15, 20 minutes. I get the person for maybe 5-10 minutes of it. I go pull it, and then I'm cutting it, and then it's out the door in like an hour, hour and a half.
Wow.
Some of this stuff, it's incredibly time sensitive in the amount of what we're having to do. It's starting to slow down, the time sensitive matter of it. So we're trying to start doing something a little bit more creative, and start to get another nice message out. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's a guy that Crftsho has worked with before that kind of just helped us get on to doing this, and it's been nice. It's been nice to help. I feel good doing that. Drew's a little message, too many Jeffs. Hey, Drew.
Yeah. So many Jeffs.
Exactly. Yeah. Our other editor is Jeff, and I know 2 ACs named Jeff as well. So,
and I'm never in that situation, by the way. I'm never where there's like a million Jeffs.
See, we're going to have to change that, though.
But I am. But whenever there is another Jeff, I'm typically the only Geoff.
Yeah.
There's that.
One of my best friends that's an AC is Geoff Waters.
There you go. There you go.
Jeff that way. And I was supposed to be that way. My dad
really?
named me after Jeffrey Chaucer. Yeah. My mom wasn't having anything of it. So I got the regular JEFF.
Hey, Jeff isn't bad either way, as Drew would say.
Exactly.
Either way. So what? Now that you guys are, I know Drew's kind of the driving force behind these YouTube interviews, and I'm doing YouTube interviews. I'm sorry, I think I spoke over you on that.
I just said he's the talker, as you know.
Yeah. He's the face, and you're the technicality of Crftsho.
Yeah, he's definitely the face that puts himself out there.
So what do you see for Crftsho as far as the YouTube channel is? Because I see a lot of questions out there, and you guys did really well for. What would you say was a year and a half that you were kind of constantly putting out?
Constantly for a good year and a half. We started it as kind of a thing just for us, and it turned into this weird, crazy tech show kind of thing. We got behind Panasonic cameras at the time, and it really helped us out. Panasonic became a client of ours through that type of stuff, and we hit that. But being actual filmmakers and a production team, trying to make these videos, as sometimes it gets very bogged down. It takes so much time to do it and do it right. We kind of went away from it for a little while, and it's another kind of saving grace of COVID-19, because with that for us, I don't want to say saving grace really, but it was a plus to it for our side as we kind of got back into this realm of going international and like getting online. Let's interview people and stuff like that.
And I think the one thing though is you guys kind of made a shift, kind of like I did, where you guys were doing it for a lot longer than me at the time, and you guys had a lot of pre-made videos, even though you did the live stream once a week.
Yes. And
it seems like now the shift is actually doing live streams and not doing the pre-made videos.
It really is, because it's the reality of it. It's we're in the now, so it's like let's talk about the now. Because there's nobody out there that this now is normal for them compared to 2 months ago. It's the world's changed. Better or worse. We'll have to see what that happens whenever we somewhat come out of this thing. I kind of agree with Drew. I don't think that normal's going to ever be the same normal that we once had.
Right. Absolutely. We just don't know what that's going to be. We hope it can come to some sort of normalcy. But we just don't know what that normalcy is.
Yeah, it's just going to be a different normalcy. Yeah.
So where do you think you see Crftsho? Do you think that once COVID's over, you guys are going to continue doing the streams, or do you think you're going to keep doing content, or do you think you're basically just going to get back to work?
I think we're going to get back to work, but at the same time, I think we're going to keep doing more and more of the interview stuff and like trying to have a social presence in that aspect. even though Drew has been the one actually doing the interviews, I have watched all of them. You know, like I'm just as intrigued as everybody else is a lot of this stuff. You know, and I watch your channel, I watch Scott Balcom's channel. You know, it's like there's a lot of stuff going on. And I don't know if Scott's watching this or if he's going to watch this, but I still haven't shaved my beard, Scott, because I saw you shaved yours. I call him out for it.
Yeah, I did. I noticed that. I was able to pop into a stream for a few minutes yesterday, and I noticed completely gone.
I know. I had to like double take it.
Yeah.
It's like, man. So I can't say anything though. I thought about shaving mine off too, and then even the producer I'm working with here was like, "You can't shave your beard off."
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was in the same boat. I was thinking a few days ago. I'm like, maybe I should get rid of my beard. I'm like, nah, not gonna happen.
Well, I started thinking about it because I had to wear a mask one day, and the mask kind of just sits right here and it just levels back up. So now I actually have to do the whole like. I have to not braid it, but put like a little rubber band in here and just give myself a chin. Because
it makes sense. It makes sense.
Chin, so.
Well, you got to keep it. It's part of the beard color, man.
It is. Like I've built my whole entire brand, you know, as a colorist, and through my life, everybody calls me the beard. So I'm like, I can't really get rid of a beard. Yep.
Even when I'm talking to Jeff, sometimes he's like, I feel like sometimes so he doesn't confuse himself either. He's like the bearded one.
Yep.
So let's one last thing I kind of wanted to go over. As you know, we did in Axonar, you guys have seemed to made a shift from using reds primarily to moving to actually, which I don't think you ever saw coming, Blackmagic. How was that transition?
Yeah, especially if anybody here has ever watched our old YouTube section. Yeah, the shift of Blackmagic, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to say scared people, but definitely freaked them out. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
Choice. You know, but yeah, I mean, we've switched to G2s. We're still shooting Panasonic GH5S. That camera is just
still a workhorse.
It's a great little workhorse camera. It's easy, it's small. You know, but the G2, you know, we rented it. Neither one of us really cared for it originally because of the way it was built out.
Right.
And you know, it's a rental house, so you get the camera and like the basic. We jumped on it and just wanted to see if we could make it work, and we got a cage around it, you know, and got it built out the way that we both like to shoot. And man, we love it. B-Raw is quite possibly one of my favorite things in the world.
Yep,
I can
me too.
Any computer out there that I have, and I can just go ahead and cut something real time without logging down my camera or my computer. GH5S, on the other hand, completely different story.
Oh, and it's not raw.
Yeah, but
which is crazy. It's mind-boggling.
Chugs a computer, you know, and it's like, so when I do both of them together, I'm like, man, B-Raw is just the way to go. Like I fall in love with it more and more every day.
And that's why I think B-Raw has the potential, not just on the Blackmagic side of things, but even on other cameras to become a primary codec. Because look at what they did with the EVA 1, where now it's if you use a video assist, it supports recording Blackmagic RAW on the EVA 1, and that's a Panasonic camera.
I know. It's just a great codec.
It really is.
ProRes RAW's not a bad codec either. Just nobody's really truly adopted it all the way yet.
It only just I think a few days ago went into beta on Windows.
Yeah. So it's like B-Raw it's the first thing I've seen Blackmagic truly come out with at the beginning that has worked the whole entire time. You know, because one of my bigger complaints was they put out a camera so fast that you know,
it's not ready sometimes.
The first like 2 generations of it really of updates and that they're just not ready. They're bugged, you know, and stuff like that. And the G2 was that way. The very first one, you know, before the G1, just the 4.6, you know, Ursa.
Yeah, that went through a lot of updates.
Camera, you know, and the G1 kind of fixed it, and then the G2 became a pretty legit camera.
And even the original pocket camera, you know, that was not ready to go when it launched. I had one of the first ones of the OG one back in 2013. And I remember I was filming a concert, and I heard on like some of the forums, they're like, apparently there's an issue where there's white orbs that pop up. Really bright highlights of not even just sunlight reflections, but just any bright highlights. And I'm like, nah, I think I'm good. I think I passed it because I got second round of shipment. And I'm like filming this guy, and he's giving this sick drum solo. And I start to notice that there's reflections on the different pieces of his drum kit, and they're coming out as these huge white orbs. And I'm like, no, my footage is ruined. And then I had to send the camera in, and they sent me like a fixed one back, and it is what it is. But I realized, Darren says we're getting an echo, or someone's getting an echo, but I think we're okay now.
Me and my little webcam.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I've been there with the Blackmagic. Even my first pocket camera, there were some issues that I had to send it in for, because I for that one, the 4K, I had the first shipment. I had to send it in. They actually sent me a new one within a week. They were pretty good on that.
They
but
have good customer service. I will give them credit for that. And even DaVinci, I've been on DaVinci since DaVinci 7, and almost every release is buggy at the beginning. So like whenever I get it, I usually, like whenever there's an update, I'll wait a month or two before, even trying to update, just so that I can let all the bugs go through before I actually get onto it.
Yeah, I typically never update to the newest version until after 6 months, unless there's really a reason to. I would say the first time I did that with DaVinci was when Blackmagic Raw came out, because you couldn't edit it on anything other than DaVinci at release.
That's a good reason to update. I'm kind of the same way. I do it if I'm in the middle of a project. There's no chance I'm updating my programs. But I have a client in the color world that is a political commercial guy, and every single time he's on a newer version of Adobe Premiere Pro, and so I have to keep updating and updating and updating so I can conform what he does.
Jeez,
because he doesn't really conform it properly. So he's a political guy. He just does commercials because that's where the money is for him. Yeah.
I mean, as some say, the riches are in the niches.
Oh, yeah,
and it's like, look, I started off in wakeboarding because that's kind of where I found my niche in, until I spread it out and kind of went into other areas. But it was a great place to start because I got so much experience working in that specific field that it kind of set me off in the right direction.
Exactly.
So it's good. It's definitely good to pick a niche, and political is a great field to be in.
Oh, it really is, especially if you can get pretty good clients with it, and if you can get people that, when I say good clients that win, because that way they keep going back, and they keep doing more and more stuff.
And then they're like, that guy made a really good commercial for me. I'm going back to his company.
Exactly. Hey, like you said, whatever works. If you're making money doing it and you're happy, have fun with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I try to keep these at 30 minutes. So we're kind of hitting that mark right now. So I guess I'd leave, dude, thank you for joining me today. This was a fun little conversation.
I haven't seen you or heard from you in about a week, so it's been nice to talk to you. It
was nice to catch up. Yeah, I know you've been busy working, and I've been busy working, but home, so I've been able to do all the extra shit still.
Exactly.
So
I'm trying to catch up whenever I can.
Well, thanks, man. So any last words you want to leave everybody watching?
Well, my big thing is just like still be creative. If I have a feeling most of the people on here are creative in some sort, that are watching your show. Still be creative. When this stuff ends, creative people, I think, have the best way of surviving, them and like true business people, because everybody knows how to pivot. Because creatives are super hustlers. So I mean, I think once this ends, just keep hustling.
Wise words. I couldn't agree more. And on that note, I think that's a great way to end the show. So thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in live, both on Facebook and YouTube. And we will be back later this week with some new episodes. And thank you for tuning in again. One more note, the Crftsho channel is actually in the description. So if you guys want to check out both Jeff and Drew Hall's videos, please give it a look. They have some really great content, and even a lot of the older stuff is absolutely relevant today. So definitely give it a peek.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, of course. And on that note, adios, guys. Catch you later.
Bye.